That's the $50 version. See if your plugins is right. You straight. You can get away with it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the Pint Size Podcast. Blue and Boyd are not involved in this because it's a mastermind of FcOnTheBeat. So they're not going to be here on this particular episode. But I'm sitting in with some special guests, some close friends of mine, some people who I've done music and business with for a very long time. I want you guys to welcome C.W. Allen to the show, and I want you guys to welcome Rosello to the show. We've been working on both of these ideas and both of these gentlemen being on this show for a number of months, and it finally came together, and it had nothing to do with me. It just happened, and it worked. It worked out, so I'm good. How y'all feeling, fellas?
Good, man. I can't complain, Just got back in the city from the Shy. Been just catching up with people, kicking it, whatever. So, yes, it's low-key this way. What's up with you, Rich?
I'm chilling, man. I feel great. Living my best life.
I'm living my best life.
I'm sick of y'all living y'all best lives. Can I just say it?
Yeah, that shit.
I'm tired of niggas living their best life. Oh, we already here. It don't matter. It don't matter now. We already out here. It don't matter.
We got Rob out here too. So with you, Rob?
Young Rob in the building. Rob in the building.
Nor doing this thing, man. Young.
If y'all don't know what part of the city I live in a part of the city that's can be dangerous. Can't be dangerous if you're not a real man. And Rob is sitting in his chair, looking as though if anything happened to me, he didn't want to come with the smoke. So I feel a little extra safe, And I'm always feeling safe. I feel he's sitting over in the car like, all right, let that door open. It's going down. All right, cool. We got one.
Another one.
We got action. So listen, man. In this show, I really wanted to, and we're segmenting things. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the listeners. Pay attention to our feed on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and a various number of other distributors that I forgot the names of. But we're starting to segment off into our own individual kind of lanes and give you guys content from our unique perspectives. I want to implore everybody to listen to the Marketing Minute with Donovan Boyd. That's on the feed right now, and there's some great things that every business owner can use in order to advance their situation, and just some great foundational rules that every business owner, entrepreneur can use. And we like to provide those things to you as often as possible. But this segment is really pertaining to music and the creative at large. So I finally found a way. I'm just giving you guys a backstory. I finally found a way to bring those worlds together and make it make sense for the listener. So that's what we're attempting to do here. So our individual segments are just as important as the main show. This is our first delve into that world, and I appreciate you guys for checking that out. So I want to start here, and I think it's some essential things that artists deal with that the average business owner doesn't really see a lot of. And I really want to get into that, but I want to get into, first of all, at the top of the podcast, in the first 5 minutes, I want to know what you guys are working on. I need to hear what's going on new, what's just came out. I need all of that stuff so the listeners can hear it, and so we can create some context for the show going forward. So I'm going to start with Dub. Dub, tell us about what's going on with you. You know what I'm saying? What projects you got going? If you releasing stuff? Tell us what's going on in your world right now, bro.
Yeah. So I just released a EP called The Dream Baby, Volume 1. So right now I'm doing a series on what does it look like when you have dreams and expectations, but the road that you at doesn't kind of allow those to really come to fruition?
Okay.
What does it look like when you got dreams of being an artist or a business owner or doing whatever, God has put on your heart or made you to do, but the people around you looking at you like, bruh, it's time to get a real job, or
right.
or life circumstances just don't really allow for that. How do you deal with that? And so through these EPs, I want to kind of unpack that and talk through this idea of being this dreamer, being a dream baby, which a lot of us lose we lose that idea. When we get older, we stop sketching. We stop imagining. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
But if we had the capacity to have imagination as adults, along with the 9 to 5 money and resources we have, then I think we could really do some damage. And so how do we do that? How do we live that out? So I fleshed that out through my faith, through politics, through romance, and I'm hoping that as I continue to grow older, these series will just, in a sense, chronicle where I'm at, but hopefully where the culture's at.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. What you got, Rich? Oh no, it's Rosello. I'm sorry.
I rap, by the way.
You rap, by the way, a little bit.
Hip-hop
Okay,
artist.
great,
Yeah.
great.
Well, I just dropped I'm not gonna say a single, but I did just drop a song called Rich Speaks, and it's just talking a lot of shit on there. And I see Dub had the same
The same track.
same track.
Hey, we're gonna talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about it. But I just dropped a joint called Rich Speaks, dropped a visual for it, and just dropped it on SoundCloud. I'm working on my album. It's done. I'm done writing it, but I just got to lay a couple vocals and go back and switch some things because I wasn't feeling it. The name of the album is called VVV, and then I mean later on I'll explain what's the meaning behind all of it.
Right.
Yeah, because there's a whole breakdown for it. But
he sent me the breakdown, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a blog post.
Yeah,
it's an editorial. He's joining serious.
So yeah, we me and FC pretty much produced every track on there except for one. Shout out to Ya. Ya produced one of the tracks on there. And this album is just basically the past year and a half, the struggle, the depression from losing my mom. Like, I've dealt with depression all my life, but like that, it just enhanced it like 20 times. And I was at a really dark place in my life, and it wasn't up until like recently, a couple months ago, when I started writing my album is when I realized that I was tripping and I was in a really dark spot and I was just staying out the way, not doing nothing. So this just takes you down that path. And so it is more like a darker album, just showing like that side of me that people usually don't see.
Yeah.
Because they see the little crazy motherfucker that be talking shit and all this other stuff, and always happy and always smiling in people's faces. But yeah, they'll see that side of me for this.
So okay, we got two totally different spectrums of art here represented, which is dope. It's dope that I produced on both of them.
Yeah,
Shameless plug. You feel? You see how I do? You see how I'm out here moving? But no, I feel like and Dub's point goes into what you were saying, Rich. I think art is kind of an integral piece in both of those storylines. Like even the idea that, okay, as adults, and we know this, but the constructs of society sometimes don't allow for the freedom of expression because everything is geared towards let's make money or let's get you into a career or whatever it is that, you know what I'm saying, you're studying for. Schooling is really a great dampener of creative ideas.
It is. Well, think about how schools are set up.
Okay.
You know, you go to school, you get lectured, right? You look at the board, everybody facing one way. We don't really teach in circles. We don't promote, nap time unless you're in kindergarten or under. Like little things that other places do, the way that they teach. Even as I look at, like my Christian faith, like how Jesus taught. He had 12 dudes with him all the time, and it was like kind of like this rabbi system where it's like these, you live in life with me, and that's how you're learning.
Right.
You get to make mistakes, and that's okay. We don't have a margin for that. We don't
not
have
at
a margin
all.
for creativity, for making mistakes. Making mistakes is a great thing.
It's the greatting thing.
I mean, you learn so much.
It's the greatest thing.
So I just even think like our schooling system and the way it's set up is just not providing a good way for people to learn. Like it's crazy. There's this situation where in the Jewish culture, when they're teaching them the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible or the Torah. Mm-hmm. So there's this verse that says, taste and see that the Lord is good. And they actually have the kids dip their finger in honey and then taste the honey and then start reading so that they can visually feel that what they're reading is good.
See, and the thing, like stuff like that, like, and that's getting to my point. Like, there's not room, I feel like, for you to feel much anymore.
No, it's not. No,
not at all.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where arts and creatives come into just the life structure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, without us, life would be kind of corny.
You can't live without music.
Not kind of. It would be.
It'll be weak. Because like even I was at Rich's at the moment that things went left and Rich lost his mother. I was there, and what I know is that in the down times, that is the sustaining point of Rosello. Just having the outlet, like even in the frustrating times, to where, like even to your point, to say, well, this is not a cakewalk life in general, and art is my way of expressing that in a way that's not self-deprecating or self-destructive. It's just my interpretation of my life experience. You know what I mean? And art is so important in whatever medium you subscribe to, but I think it's so important and it should be necessary. And the only reason I'm going on this path is because I don't think it's the importance of art and creativity is expressed enough in our society in general.
Yeah, man, because it's an outlet. Like writing is an outlet. Like whether I'm stressed, if I'm in a happy mood, like if I'm depressed, like it's always an outlet, and it's so easy for me to write, and that's how I've been able to cope with my mom's loss. You feel me? Like you don't ever get over a loss like that. Right. You'll never. It's always gonna be there. I always wonder why, like when we went to the cemetery every year for Mother's Day, why my mom was crying 25 years later after her mom passed. You feel me? Like I always wonder, but now I know.
Right.
Cause like it's been a year and a half, about to be 2 years soon. Like, and it still hurts just like it hurt yesterday, but I've been able to cope with it through music and writing and been able to release whatever I had to release on the track. And that's why I got through this past year and a half. It's because of music, man. And like you said, people don't express that. They don't show that. Like they don't talk about it. Like, I don't know. They just fucking think we're crazy. So
yeah,
pretty much.
It take. Okay, like all right, let's go there. So this is what I found. Right, I think I'm older than both of y'all. I'm a little older than both of y'all. I'm 35.
Yeah, you're older than me.
Okay, hold on. Don't say it like that.
I'm just 32.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And Rich is the baby. Okay, so, but I've been doing this for 10 plus years in this capacity. I've always played. Music has always been me. But in those 10, I can say 20 years now. Music has been, this is what I do forever, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Like that idea alone to the average person is the most asinine thing that they hear. Like how, like you have,
but you ain't made it yet,
and I ain't made it. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's just like, well, this is just my life path. At this point, it's like, all right, I had to even get to the point where it's like, I'm not built for nothing else.
Yeah.
This is what I got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember the day it happened. It was probably the scariest realization I've ever made as an adult. It was like, okay, you have the ability to communicate with people. You can be a people person, but you're highly introverted. So that's weird. You know what I mean? For me, like I could sell stuff so simple. Like the last real job of real money I had, I was a lead generator for a mortgage company right before the mortgage industry tanked. I was that dude. I was that dude. I quit the job a month later. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is whack. Like, what? I don't want to. I'm not made for this. So, I feel like this. Like, the creative person should understand that. First of all, you are a nutcase. If you look at like the way society has told you to be, you are a crazy person, and that is just fine.
But in other cultures, you're a genius. Like you're up there with doctors.
And that's what messes me up about the country.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
This is terrible.
This is terrible. Like, what do we do? Come on, man. Like the minds that fuel the things that we even sell are creative minds. Like think of Steve Jobs was a nutcase.
Yeah.
He was a crazy person.
Yeah.
Like Bill Gates is a crazy person. It just looks different on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why it's not celebrated a lot. And the reason I was making that point is that a lot of people don't have. A lot of creatives don't have a point of reference in how to even engage in that activity and make it something that sustains them or something that their family can eat on in any kind of way, or even how to live out that creative side of them, no matter what the medium is. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking this. I'm thinking that this is a great time to have a conversation about what to do this coming year, what you guys are seeing, what you guys are experiencing, and how to navigate being a creative person in 2019. Now, I'll start. I did something like this last year. It was on a Facebook. Yeah, it was on Facebook Live, and I sat down with my live and essentially talked to myself for about an hour just to let people know, like, okay, look, I'm telling you what I'm seeing. The things that we are acting like don't mean anything mean a lot, and we need to pay attention to them. So I want to do it this year in this format because there are a lot of factors in the music space in particular that people have to pay attention to, and they have to understand how to navigate. It's crazy out there, right? I come from a day, this is even before, this is before you. We come from a day, Dub, where you can, the formula was this. You make your record, right? You record it, right? You go get your CD duplicator.
Yep.
Right?
White CDs.
Go get your inkjet printables.
That's right.
If you want to just get it off the muscle, this is how we did it.
Yeah,
we did it. Get your inkjet printer. Yeah. Get your CD duplicator. Burn them CDs off. Print them out with your artwork on it. Package them up.
And Brother Dub them joints.
Hit the streets. My nigga hit the streets.
Yep.
Sell it for the dime.
That's right.
And recoup. It was like the dope game for real.
I had a dude. I was out pushing my CDs. This was probably like 06. And I gave some away. It's like, yo, on the love. And I came back around on the West Side Market, and dude tried to sell me a bootleg of my CD.
It's lit.
He's like, yo, you like gospel rap? I got you.
What?
That's my CD.
But now, because see, I think we can talk about this too. I'm entering in the old man age, old man space.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm fighting it.
So you hate the new.
It's not even that. It's that I'm so programmed to how it should work.
Yeah.
That the new stuff that's happening, I don't like it. Now I'm doing it.
Sure.
I get it, but it's like, why are we giving away our stuff for free, essentially? Or why streaming is a thing. I like streaming as a consumer, but I don't like streaming as a producer.
Right.
I hate it as a producer. As a content creator person, I hate that. I'm giving it to you because you're paying a subscription. You're not giving me anything directly. And I got to deal with the other streaming services. So let's start here. I want to start here. What is the most important thing to focus on, in your opinion, both of y'all? I want to hear from both of y'all. The most important thing to focus on in 2019 in order to grow. No, okay, let me stop. The reason I'm having this conversation is for the listeners. The reason I'm having this conversation with these two gentlemen is because, aside from producing for both of them for a number of years, they have been able, independently of me, to see great results in growing their individual fan bases on a guerrilla type level. It has been, honestly, it kind of makes me proud to watch these guys move. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a grind instilled in these two gentlemen that I don't see from most people that I work with. So I feel like they have earned the right to be experts in this field because they're doing it.
A doctor from FC Academy.
They're doing it. They're doing it. So that being said, I had to qualify y'all for a minute because I'm saying it. But that being said, what are you focusing on primarily in 2019? I guess we can start from there. What you got? Whoever want to go.
What I'm focused on is having something to drop on a dime. Like, to be honest with you, I'm ready to put out this next album like January.
You ready?
Because I feel like by spring I should have another something, even if it's a 5-song EP. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, I've been in situations where all right, let's say Clark Ave, right? Clark
Go
Ave.
listen to Clark Ave. Yeah, go listen to that.
I hate that song. That song, it was cool at the time, right? Mm-hmm. It jumped up to like 30,000 views on Facebook. Everybody was going crazy over it. Mm-hmm. I didn't have nothing to drop right after that. True. To keep that momentum going, because momentum is everything. When you feel me, there one song, but you got to have something to follow that. And Clark Ave, I didn't have nothing to follow that, and it took me a while to drop something else. And I realized, like, once I got that momentum,
you couldn't follow up in this new age.
Yeah, like I could keep it moving. I could keep doing what I want to do. Because now, like, once you realize that you lose that momentum, you have to start all over again. You have to go back into how you gonna market yourself, how you gonna brand yourself, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, for me, it's easy as hell.
I mean, we're not talking about you. We're talking about just the average.
The average. It sucks having to do that. Like, because ideas for me just come so quick. So it just pops up in my head so easy. But, like, for the average person, it sucks that you have to rebuild yourself, like, rebrand yourself. And that's terrible. So I'm trying to focus on just having a lot of content, just ready to rock at any time. And another thing is, damn, I lost my train of thought. See, that's what I do. That's what I get for getting high, man.
See, stop smoking, man. I told you stop smoking months ago. You didn't want to listen to me.
But
I have a cigarette in my hand. It's lit. Go
yeah,
ahead.
man, I'm focused on that. I'm focused on. I mean, there's nothing I can really focus on because I already do it. You feel me? Like, I'm already on it. But for the average person, man, just be yourself. Stop trying to be like everybody else.
That's a big deal, man.
That's
a big deal.
And you know what I learned though, man, is trying to, when people reach out and ask what it is that they have to do to brand themselves and market themselves, I stop responding.
Tell me why.
First of all, if I give you a whole rundown, don't just hit me with okay. Now you mad that you actually have to put in work. I'm not about to put in work. You feel me?
Okay, that's different.
Now you mad because you have to put in a lot of work because I'm not just giving you a rundown on, oh, this is how you do it. I'm breaking it all the way down to you.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And for me to take out time to do that, bruh, I was pissed because you're not about to just hit me with okay and then turn around and not do it.
Yeah.
And that's why you sitting there still looking stupid with the same followers and the same, you feel me? Like the same content. Like, that's what I'm not going to do. That's what I stopped doing, is realizing that if you got it, you got it.
That's true.
If you're able to brand yourself, if you're able to market yourself, like, and it comes so easy, you got it, then I don't think you could teach that.
Okay.
I don't think you could teach it personally. I mean, you could catch up onto some shit, but you're always going to be looking around for somebody else to help you market yourself or brand yourself. You feel me? And that's why people got
that's the game, right there.
People got teams for that shit. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I don't need a team. Like, me and FC, like, we come up with this shit on our own. We do our own thing. When I'm on, I don't need nobody to tell me what to do or how to market myself or how to brand myself. I already know how to do that.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, if you give me an idea, I might put it on steroids. You feel me? Like, I'll take your idea, if it's something small, and make it huge. Like, that's what I do. And I'm not being cocky about it. I'm just, like, that's just who I am. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my little breakdown of that shit, though. Like, yeah.
See, I told y'all. What you got, Duck? Because I'm looking at, this is a segment of all gems that I'm looking at. Like, God. Okay, I'm rolling. What you got?
So, give me that question again.
What is your focus on 2019? Like, what should you be looking
my
at?
main focus on 2019, one is, so I left my job a year ago to pursue my music, and I'm trying to get back up to where I was financially with my salary as a full-time artist, so that my wife ain't like, it's time to hang it up. You know? So first I'm trying to set myself up in that way, and then I'm trying to create something for independent artists where actually my creative team helps them with all of the little things surrounding their brand. So you need to write a PR report. I went to school for that. I could write your PR letter and send out. You need to know how to do little things to register your music or what is your royalties look like? How do you register for your royalties? Things that I think a lot of artists don't know when they just hit some open mics or go do some poetry every once in a while, you know? I mean, y'all know that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to create, that, and then really just hone in on what does my hungry fan base look like? The person who loves C.W. Allen's music, the person who gonna put me on their playlist, who come out to my shows, what do they specifically look like, so that I can make sure that my content and my brand really caters to them in a real dope way. So it's been just an overview for years, but now I'm trying to really hone in.
That's dope. I got a question.
Go ahead.
With the first part about helping artists and writing PR letters and all that. How hard is it to do that with the game being so oversaturated, and like not like every young person coming up doesn't care about that,
right?
And we're in a world full of young artists being on and being put on or making some noise in their city. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yep. Depending on the artist. And so one, it is oversaturated, right? Like it's one of those things where some people just should not be artists. They should be managers. They should be putting tours together. They should be managers. They should be record label owners. That's a whole nother podcast. But everybody want to be an artist, right? So one is oversaturated, but that's an advantage when you have a business like that, because it allows you to service multiple people. Now you got to be selective of your clients, because it's just too much. But so with the younger artists, they figured out a way to leverage social media and all of that to build a brand, get followers, where they don't necessarily have to write a press release or whatever the case may be. But when you get to a certain level, that's required. You're not going to submit stuff. You're not going to sit in a meeting with Def Jam and not have your stuff together. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And so some of that stuff
let me put a
has
pin
to
right
be
there.
learned.
I hope none of my artists that are listening, you're right, but I hope none of my artists that are listening want to sit in a meeting with Def Jam right now. I just want to put that out there. We're not talking to Def Jam right now. I just let you know. All right, you're gonna sit over there and burn forever.
Right.
But the point, real man, and I just want to let you know. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So when you're an artist, so I've learned that I got this 80-20 rule. So 80% of what you do is business and 20% is the creative and fun part. If you don't do the business part right, you will go broke. You will not last. You won't have the 10 years plus like a Drake or Kanye or Jay. You're just not going to be that type of artist. Right. And that's a reality, because you're going to be seen as a person who is not respected in the business because you're not professional. You're going to be a person who doesn't have kind of like a foot working for themselves. Like, you don't know what your mission is and your vision. So how are you going to create something for the next 10 years and you can't even think through the next 5?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think there's some little practical things that artists can still get nowadays in the age where you can just become a celebrity overnight or whatever to sustain that. Right? You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. This is how you sustain it. You learn how to write a press release, how to set up your website correctly, how to brand, what your colors look like. The things that you say on social media that match who you are. Rosello's beard, that's his brand. You know what I mean? Like, James Harden ain't cutting his beard off. He looked terrible without it, but it's his brand. The unibrow ain't going nowhere. Right. So little things like that, and knowing how to do that, I'm hoping to assist artists with. And I'm trying to make sure I got it right myself.
I get you.
As I grow, so that it's credible to say, yo, this is what we need to do.
Doing.
This is how we need to move.
Yeah. So in this day, now, this is crazy. It's a lot of stuff to break down. Okay, so first of all, you guys are almost geniuses, because I didn't see it going this way, but I'm rolling. So let's look at it like this. So those goals for 2019, they hit almost every genre, every kind of artist, every part of creative arts that you can think of, right? Now, this is the one thing that's standing out in my brain. How do you reconcile the focus between social media and the back end that you just mentioned, because this is my thesis, or not my thesis, whatever. This is the reason I'm asking this, is because we have countless examples of artists and creatives who have just went guerrilla grind. Let's put the music out. Let's feed our people what they want to hear. And the people have in turn said, we're going to vouch for you outside of the industry. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I'm bringing this point up is because that's a goal that a lot of people I see have reached out for beats, have purchased records, have all of that. Even in watching how me and Rich move, they see like, okay, this is possible outside of the structure. So that's what they want. Because first of all, let's be honest, it's more lucrative. It makes more sense. And you can dial it in based on who you are as a person. Right. Going back to that be yourself thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how does one maintain the importance of having the administration, which is everything that Dub talked about if you don't know, the administrative side of your art together with seeing results that may not have put those things first? Like, where does the priority lie? Because the argument can be made that, and I'm not saying this is the correct argument, sure. Hear me, but the argument can be made that, okay, I'm going to make these goddamn records, I'm going to put these motherfuckers on SoundCloud, and we going to rock, and we going to figure it out, and then once we get there, we'll get there. Yeah. Right? And there's countless examples of that, like Partisan Fontaine is one, Cardi is one, X is one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think both things are important, but which one would you put first? Whoever can answer that.
Between administration and the actual visual.
The actual art and administration. What would you go for first? I got my answer. And I'm an old nigga, and this answer is just, I got the answer.
I jump out there. I'm going to say administration. And not everybody is built that way. I'm by nature, not by default. I'm like Rich. I'm more of a visionary, see what we want to do, but I forced myself to become a B-type, not A-type personality where I'm perfectly, everything is in line, but B-type where I'm in the middle, creative and organized. And the reason I lean that way is because you can blow up like a Cardi or, some of the artists that killed on the SoundCloud or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, okay, so the big boys hear you and they want to sign you.
Rolling.
Or leash your music.
Yeah, right.
If you don't know the administration, if you don't know administratively where you want to go and what your brand looks like, you gonna get yanked, and you gonna lose. Some people can't even use their real name. Like Miss Lauryn Hill is not Lauryn Hill's name.
True.
True. It's all kinds of different artists out here who have buzz, but they're in these lifetime contracts where they don't own their masters. It's a reason that Jay-Z went back and bought Reasonable Doubt. After he made money.
Yeah, big reason.
Because he knows it's his first album. It's timeless. It's always gonna sell. People are always gonna stream it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if you don't have your administration together and know where you want to go and what fits you and what doesn't, then you gonna get yanked.
And you're not wrong.
You won't be able to pass your stuff down to your kids. You won't have, you got a nice car, but you still paying a note on it, right? Like that's the whole idea here. So for me, I'm learning that I don't have an issue with a record deal if it's not lateral movement. If it's adding to my my base, my brand, the marketing dollars make sense, and I have an option to buy masters later. Right. Or you just leasing music. That's a whole nother story.
That's a big
leasing
game
my
too.
Music is that's a win for me.
That's a big game.
You can lease. There are websites right now. There's one called Royalty Exchange where they actually appraise royalties like a wedding ring. They look at your catalog and they say, hey, okay, you had X amount of streams over the last 3 years. We appraise it for $300,000, and for the next 3 years, we'll give you that to lease your music. They'll front you $300,000 to use your music or collect the money from it, not knowing if it's going to hit that number or not. Yep. People are buying houses and throwing down payments with royalty streams. But if you don't own it, how can you do that?
There you go.
Everybody else does that though. It's dudes who are business owners who are literally on these sites buying people's royalties because they know the value in owning your stuff. So if you don't got the administration together,
it's gang.
You're not going to be able to feed your kids. You're not going to send them to college because you're going to be busy trying to appease this contract.
Or the way I look at it is you're going to be on the road so much trying to make up.
Oh, and that's tiring.
Your
back start hurting when you get F-Sage.
Come on, man. I'm 35. I woke up this morning like, all right, well.
I can't hoop like I used to.
We got to go ahead and get to it. Let me stretch, do a couple push-ups before we get it going. I'm old. But no, what you got, Rich?
What was the question again? My bad. My bad. I'm a little lost.
Would you put social media first, or would you put the administration in first? In this,
Not even.
in this day
I don't want to,
age?
because I want to touch social media in a different way. I want to
Okay.
rub social media and make it feel real good over here later. But what I want to do, would you put building your brand and pushing content out as a top priority, or the administration as a top priority? Like, which one do you value higher? Because, and the reason I'm saying, let me break it down for Rich. So the reason, because Rich looking at me like, nigga, what? You do all of that. I know I do. So it's fine.
So I'm cool with
I'm
just doing
good.
the brand.
F do anything. You're right. But no, what?
I'm alone. I'm dunking.
Yeah, right. What he's asking is, the reason it's being brought up is because once you achieve the success you're looking for in the administrational part, the registering of the royalties and all of that stuff, if it's not handled, then that could be that can cripple you in a lot of ways.
How you gonna collect?
And that I'm with you. I'm with you.
I feel like with us pretty much being a team, it's easier for me to say, oh, FC is handling this part, and I'm making sure that we good on the art. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
but like for the typical art, like you got to make sure your shit good before you, because like you said, you gonna get fucked up, man. And yeah, that's why like that question is kind of hard for me to answer, is because like me and FC,
I just realized Rich been college.
But you get the beauty. The beauty of just focusing on the art. Right,
we really stocked him alone out here
Yeah,
for
no,
real.
for real.
Like,
that team dynamic is great though.
It
yeah,
works.
that's what I love about it. But like for the typical artist, the artist who doesn't have anybody with them or just doing their own thing by themselves, like, yeah, you want to make sure your shit good, man.
I want to stress this point too that y'all just brought out. The team element is highly important.
At some point, it's necessary.
Once you get to the point to where you have access to hundreds of thousands of people and they want to hear, skip that. If you have access to 1,500 people and they want to hear you on a consistent basis, you have to start thinking outside of yourself, right?
Yeah.
The reason I've been able to do this in this way, first of all, I have a creative job. I just want to lay the landscape for people that's trying to do it now. I have a creative job like that I lean on. I'm a musician by trade, so I'm able to collect revenue outside of my dreams, but it's still in the vein of what I do.
Right.
So that's different. Everybody doesn't have that leverage, so I want to give you that information off top so you know that I'm an anomaly, and that's okay, right? But for someone who is trying to advance or do what all of us in this room are, except for Rob, because he got the hammer on him. But for what everybody else is trying to do in this room and to make it something that's sustainable, you have to understand, and this is one of the biggest downfalls I see in artists. They feel like independent means alone, and that's not what that means.
No.
Right.
That's not what that means. Like, I know personally, and this is somebody who is a behind the scenes guy primarily. I know personally that a lot of Rich's success hinges on me delivering for him. And I also know that a lot of my success hinges on Rich delivering for me.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works. If we do a record and Rich don't come up with the concept that's dope for the visual, we both lost.
Yeah.
If I don't understand when to drop, how to drop, what the sequencing is, what the sound should be of the project, we both lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a team is highly important once you get to the level that you need a team. Now, if you just started making records, stop asking for managers.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Don't do that. And no one takes you serious. But having a team in place is important. My answer to the question I asked, though, is that it should be both equally as high on the priority list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and I think that's something that most artists don't understand in the beginning, but that's why we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
Because now I'm talking about talented people. I'm talking about people that have the opportunity to make it. Okay?
Right.
Let's be honest. Everybody that's putting records on Spotify and SoundCloud and Apple Music do not have the opportunity to make it.
Well, and there's some talented people who don't get the opportunities because they misstep in one or the other.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm just, because I didn't grow up in a social media age, right, other than Facebook, I'm just kind of relearning as I go how to properly
do
work
it.
and use it. Because I'm not even super passionate about it. I like to communicate with friends and family. see what y'all doing.
Right.
But other than that,
it ain't a big deal.
It ain't a big deal, but it has to become a focal part of what I'm doing.
I'm gonna say this. And we can jump right into social media. But what I'm saying is this: in terms of creative and administration, those things should go hand in hand. They have to go hand in hand. Once you make a record, you got to think about who houses it, who owns that, what are you doing to protect that. Now we're in a day and age where, you put something on the internet and it can be stolen. It's just, there's nothing you can do to avoid.
It happens to us.
It happens to us all the time.
Wow.
And now I can talk about it here. I'm going to talk about it here because it pissed me off when it happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
But they
even
stealing your beats.
It's not even beats. It was Rich's idea.
Okay.
It was called Backseat Freestyle.
Okay.
And it was essentially hop in the whip. You pick a number on the CD. Rich goes to the number, plays the record at random, whatever the number you pick, plays the record at random, and you got to spit. And we're driving around and we're recording it.
Okay.
That got ripped off once people saw that it was dope.
By a DJ on the radio, too.
On the radio.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of one of the cats that did both of them felt away. And I'm like, okay, well, it's exposure. You got to do what you got to do. But you know who did it first. So it's like, all of that to say this. Like, creative ideas are meant to be stolen.
Yeah.
Everything gets remixed.
Everything gets remixed. Everybody's taking ideas and content and trying to make it work for them. Don't let that deter you. But if it really gets thick, make sure you can defend yourself.
Man,
Right.
it's so important, and artists don't even think about this. At some point, you have to think about lawyers and things like that when it gets to a place. But copyrights. So when something is in a fixed medium, it's technically copyrighted, but there are limitations on that type of copyright.
Yeah.
You can't take someone to court unless you've registered it in the government.
Right.
They will not hear the case.
Not at all.
And so even registering your copyrights for between $35 and $50?
50, yep, depending on what it is.
What?
Yeah.
That's easy work.
If you live in somewhere like I'm in the Chi, tax rate is terrible. It's high.
Okay.
But here in Cleveland,
yeah.
bruh, register your business. It's cheap.
It's super cheap.
Protect yourself.
$125.
Look, if you don't have a business registered and you just doing it off your name and your social, they can take your car. They can take your house.
Man, listen.
You for real?
Listen. Get your ducks in a row.
And I feel like when it comes to shit like that, like other people taking other people's ideas, that comes from non-creatives.
A lot of times.
I feel like that,
Creative
like,
copycats.
yeah, because like they can't come up with the shit by themselves. That's why they name it Freestyle Car, which is whack as fuck. Like, you feel me?
I just want to
Like,
get him
about to
going.
throw out the back.
Let's get him going.
I can't be all the way mad, you feel me? Because I kind of fell off with it, and some shit happened in his life, like whatever. He took my idea. It doesn't matter now because I'm constantly thinking creative shit. Like, he can't. That's the reason why he did that. He's taking ideas off other people. You're looking for other people who may not have the same following as you, but have some dope ass ideas. So you take it and then you take it to your followers like, oh, I started this bullshit.
Right.
But the artist that was on that freestyle car hit me up like, yo, I just want to say, like, I appreciate you, bro. I respect what you're doing. Like, this was your idea first. I just want to let you know that there ain't no bullshit between me and you out of respect, you feel me? And I was like, nah, you good, bro. Go ahead and do that. My shit's done with anyways.
Right.
Like, but I feel like, that all shit comes from non-creatives who can't come up with these ideas themselves.
Shots fired. And I don't disagree. I second that message. Totally. So it's interesting. So let's really talk about social media. Let's really talk about it. I want to talk about social media and streaming. I want to talk about it all together. I really want to get your take on it.
Fine.
Now, what I want to lay down is this. First of all right, SoundCloud just released the their monetizable platform, or their monetizable option on their platform. Yeah. So if you sign up for the SoundCloud Pro, then you're eligible for your music to be monetized on their platform. This is the first time this has been done for the general public ever.
Yeah.
And SoundCloud is responsible for a lot of careers. It's responsible for almost all of ours. And so SoundCloud has been a valuable resource to musicians and budding musicians all over the world. right? But they're now offering the opportunity for you to monetize on their platform. Now, these are the restrictions of that, and then we can talk about it. First of all, the contract states that there is no clear royalty payment percentage. There is no clear royalty payment period. And to sign this agreement means that you sign away the right and privilege to sue them just in case you don't agree with this agreement later on. Now, do you guys think that now, this is the caveat to that. Let me give you the good side. The good side to it is that SoundCloud being SoundCloud, and people, I do believe that outside of Spotify, SoundCloud has the highest rate of discovery of new artists that we've seen in the past 4 or 5 years, right? It's the second highest rate to Spotify.
YouTube?
Over YouTube.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
People find new music first on SoundCloud.
Okay.
Second on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
Spotify is a great thing too.
Spotify's still killing them.
Spotify is a great thing because I realized why Spotify works last week, and I'm gonna get back on topic. I was playing a record because somebody sent me a link. Played a record. Okay, this is solid. Forgot I was playing a record and just let it go, and it gave me 10 records that felt just like it.
Yep.
4 of them I really liked. I added them. Spotify is lightweight winning this streaming shit. Like that's fire.
They know what they doing.
They can. I say, who is this young nigga? Right? I like him. Okay, that's Spotify is dope for that. But so in an age where this is what they're trying to do. This is in their statement. They're trying to eliminate the need for a record deal. Now, SoundCloud, if anybody can do this, I believe SoundCloud could do it. I really do. The agreement sounds like crap to me right now, but that's because I know the business. But outside of that, I feel like SoundCloud could really pull this off. You know what I'm saying? So my question is that something as a creative, we're all kind of seasoned in here, as a creative that's been doing this for a minute and we've all lived through the shift of platforms, which is important in this conversation. We came from CDs to iTunes being primary, and now we're still creating music in the streaming area. Yeah. Do you feel as though this is something that a new artist should attach themselves to early? How do you feel about that? Think about it. I'm cool with that.
I don't know. I think there's a place for being one of the first people to jump on the platform and doing it the right way. You see advantages in that if you catch it on the upswing. It's almost like the stock market. Like if you invest in the stock when it's building, then next thing you know, it's Google or it's
early
Amazon,
adopters.
and you winning. So I won't throw it out the window. Spotify, SoundCloud has never really been my platform though.
Right.
It's just my listeners. Typically, that's just not where they find me at. So I'm not against it, but I don't like the contract agreements.
Yeah,
that
weird.
doesn't sound good at all. Or the fact that you have to buy a
crazy.
premium plan, right?
Yeah.
Like I can get paid through my other streams through one place, DistroKid or CD Baby, whatever distributor aggregate I choose, and that makes the money for me versus me paying for a whole nother service.
Yeah, I'm with that. What you think?
I feel the same. I feel like it's a dope ass opportunity. They changing the game. The game is constantly changing anyways.
True.
And SoundCloud figured that shit out. But like that contract is terrible. Like
only thing I hate about it is the only real thing I hate about it because it's so early is I can't come to you with a lawsuit if you screw this up.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's just like, okay, so what are you going to do? Like, if you have that in your pocket, you can do whatever you want.
They barely kept the lights on a year ago, right?
Barely. But you know what I think? I think somebody swooped in and saved them.
Chance, right?
That's what but nobody knows.
Yeah, somebody behind.
Somebody swooped in and saved them because it was about to be over for SoundCloud.
Man.
That's how Spotify started leveling up.
To get shut down and everything.
Yep.
Ain't that crazy?
Yep. Spotify was that's when Spotify came in and said, "Oh, y'all about to be through? We about to drop this artist app now." Oh, drop that artist app. But
joint.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a scary time out there in streaming because the one thing that I know, and this is still in the main vein of the conversation, is we're in a time where we don't know what things are worth. I still don't feel like we understand or have enough data on what one stream is really worth. Like we can't put a dollar value on that, like intellectually. Like you can, if you're selling a copy of a CD, you can say this copy of this art to me is worth $12. So you pay me $12. I feel like I've been compensated to have a copy of this art. Streaming, we still don't know what that looks like. It's way early.
Say like 152 streams equals one download, but that still varies in how much you make
and how much you
make. If they
make.
own the premium service versus they listen for free, so you just get and you get a what. 0.998 of a penny, you know. It's just like, how do you really? There's no. I hope the Music Monetization Act that just passed in Congress.
I hope
helps with that.
I hope
we supposed to get more money for streaming now,
but we can't sue Apple and Spotify with that act. I want to sue Apple Music. I just want to see somebody say, "Yo, I'm up in the door." It ain't got to be me. I want to see somebody, yo, I got the litigation right here. This on the docket.
Man, they'll take your wife and kids, bro.
Easy, but I want to see somebody else do it. That's why I ain't trying to do it. I ain't got enough money for that shit. Right? But so all of that to say it's a dangerous time out there.
Streaming, I want to say this: streaming is a business card. Music has now become a business card. It says, "Hey, I'm good. Do business with me." That I hate that reality. I don't like it.
Not wrong.
Because I can spend 10 G's putting an album together and it sounds really good, delivery, everything. And hey, it's just a business. A $10,000 business card is really tough.
Okay, that's right where I was going. So this is my take on what music has become. Okay, I got this take because I watch Netflix a lot. Okay, Netflix is my shit.
You be crazy on Netflix, bro.
Love Netflix, right? But the business side of me one day last year, I think it was around this time last year, which prompted me to do that video I did that you can't find nowhere, so that's why you're listening to this. But I sat down and thought about it. I said, this company is sustaining itself off of giving me unlimited options to content for one fee. And they are sustaining themselves off of that. How? Like, okay, I get everybody has Netflix almost now. I get it. Everybody, you got it. I understand. But to spit, like when Bright came out and I saw the number it took to make that movie, I said, now, hold on, nigga. If you gave this motherfucker $40 million to make this goofy movie, I liked it, but it was goofy, and you gave Will Smith all that money, how are you still in business? Because you didn't make that last month, guaranteed. This is what I figured out. All right? We are stimulating an advertising economy, not an arts economy. Right? The value of the things we create is now highly dictated by who can advertise on top of it.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's really it.
Yep.
So the reason why one of my heroes in business can do deals with Spotify, Joe Budden, like he has done, is because his content is so monetizable that they will give you a duffel bag Brinks truck full of money to bring it over here.
Right. Yeah.
You are only as good as how well you can be advertised on top of. Another example of that, Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a fan. I'm also not young.
Oh, you on your Eminem?
I'm just saying.
It's just not for me.
It's not for me. It's not for me. I respect the young man because he's getting to the bag. And if you know me, you know that all bags matter. I'm going to get to your bag. But the reason Yachty is winning and Quality Control as a whole, as a unit, is winning is because everything over there is so monetizable. They have created an infrastructure that people want to see, and they're making the money off the fact that people want to see it, so now people can advertise on top of it. Yeah. Now, this is where that gets tricky. This is where the conversation comes in for us. What do you do to adjust to that idea, especially for us three sitting in this room, Rob with the hammer, making sure we good? All right? For us sitting in the room, what has the adjustment been in order to continue to make music knowing that is the case? Because even if you didn't know that was the case until just now, after you thought about it, about me talking about it for 2 minutes, you realized that was the case. So how do you, in 2019, continue to make music knowing that the value is incredibly diminished because of, and I'm going to say it like this, streaming services? What do you do?
That's tough, man.
Work it out.
That's tough as fuck. But you have to, I feel like you have to do something more than music.
Yeah, you're right.
Just like you being behind the scenes and helping artists out and feel me, like writing the PR letters, all that. I feel like you have to do something more than just music. You can't solely like just focus on music alone. As much as we love it and as much as I wish I could just do that, you have to be able to do something else.
Yeah.
Because we not gonna win. You feel me? Like like you said, even if they pass that shit, it's still gonna be hard for us to. You feel me? We can't sue Spotify. We can't sue Apple Music. It's still going to be hard to be able to be an artist, just be yourself, that's what I'm like. You have to have something else on the side to be able to keep it moving.
Yeah, I think what you just said is huge. Unless Drake, J. Cole, Demi Lovato, you smash the stream records when you drop something, and it makes you money, right? Unless you that person, there's a few things that I think can be done. One, you have to make exceptionally good music that has replay value. If you have music that has replay value, then you will see money from streams over time, because you'll get on playlists, personal playlists, curated playlists. Hopefully, sometimes the algorithms work weird, but you have to make music that's replayable. You got to be doing shows like crazy. But the way to get away from, some artists don't even do shows. They don't like it.
I know.
But there are artists that focus strictly on placements. So they'll write. One lady, I was listening to an interview, and she was saying how she was on a sabbatical from her job, and she wrote 100 songs. And she pitched 50 of the songs to networks, to soundtracks, all of that stuff. And she's getting royalty checks from those different songs.
There you go.
Where she leased it to. So it's just... Like, for me, I'm in a place where I'm thinking about how to make my music make money for me when I'm asleep. And for me, I have records that I feel like could be on a Daredevil Netflix show. And so how do I get in the room with those people who can place them in those sound libraries?
There you go.
That has to happen, and it has to be a way we think. The video game industry.
Oh my!
If you can land on 2K. People listen to it every time they start season mode.
I done did it before. I done downloaded songs and just listen to the track list on NBA 2K or something like that.
It's huge.
Like your boy was on there. What year was that?
That was Madden.
That was Madden. 2008,
9,
something like that.
Who was
something
it?
like that. Fat Al. Well, he Al Fats.
Al Fats.
Yeah, because that put the city on.
Yeah,
we was excited when that came out. Y'all was like, I done came down.
I remember that. Yeah,
I was happy.
Wow,
I was happy.
Oh my God, it's going down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I said, what is this song about? It's on 2K. I don't care. We rolling. Give me the Saints. We rolling. Let's go.
He had that national buzz for a little bit.
That's how he got sued.
Wow.
That's how he got sued.
He got sued in that celebration.
Yeah, he had to change his name.
Yeah.
Bill came and got him before he was popping them pills.
That's right.
My bad.
Wow.
My fault, y'all.
Oh, so off square like Jello with the Cosby.
Shout out to Bill Cosby.
So
he did that.
You
shit,
have
man.
to, yeah. Billy did it.
Nasty motherfucker. You nasty. Man. All right, my bad.
So you have to find creative ways, like Rich was saying, to make money surrounding your art. But if you want to do it just as an artist, you got to find creative ways within art.
Yeah,
surrounding your art. You know,
and that's the work. That's the work that even I'm learning now, because I'm in the spot where I'll be honest. Like I feel like I can rap with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? I can sing with the best of them. For sure. But age for me is playing a part. You know what I mean? So
the kids growing up.
All of that. So it's like, okay, for me, it's like, all right, I can make art that's relevant to people who is relevant to, and I will continue to do that. But the likelihood of catching one, quote unquote, with the way that I do things and the way I create art is long gone. It's fading away because the era I grew up in is now kind of dying. You know, like you had to rap you had to sing when I was, you know what I'm saying? You had to have something there. So now you don't. So I'm a dinosaur, which is all right. I mean, the cats that bought Stockton Malone know, you know what it is. Right. Yeah, I mean, I still got the sauce. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand my own music mortality here. I know what it is. Like 35 and the way that I do things is not the popular way. So for me, it's understanding, okay, what do I do now to sustain the idea of me being able to support my life through creative works and the back end work. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I started doing but left, now I got to go back to. Like, okay, let's figure this out. And I think that's why I said earlier in the show that it's important to keep both of those priorities at the same level of intensity. Yeah. You know what I mean? Having the creative at a high level and having the administration at a high level.
I refuse to get a Snapchat though.
Oh no, I had one.
I just can't do it. I can't keep up.
You know what made me delete Snapchat? When they changed it. That's the only thing that made me delete it. It was like, there's no point. I can't do nothing.
I still got it, but I don't even use it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't, but like all of those things.
Rob with the banger can have that though.
Yeah, do y'all think? Do y'all think? I know you making moves on it. I know he ain't got a Snapchat he gonna tell us about, and that's what a real nigga do.
He got the burner.
That's what a real nigga do. So I'm gonna shut up because Rob
the assassin's
got
joint.
the hammer on him. All right, I know that stance.
Yo, you a young artist who's you know, starting out.
This whole time?
He got bars.
Come on,
he can rap.
No, you should have told me that walking in the door.
Why you think he here?
Okay, my bad.
So I want you to take my mic and I want you to just talk about this perspective from a younger dude. So like, how do you see social media and administration? Like, what does that look like for you?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, I'm 18. So
Okay.
A lot of the kids who I come up with in high school is.
Hold on. He got the rapper voice. This nigga got bars. I ain't heard. Hey, he said, yeah. I mean, I'm saying a lot of kids that come over in high school, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. No. Facts, my nigga. A lot of niggas. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you good. Yeah, I believe a lot of us are like sold on a type of that fairy tale of like, man, I come out with a song like one night, like Lil Yachty, right? Like one thing I about Lil Yachty is that he a businessman.
True.
Like as much as Joe Budden was getting on him on Everyday Struggle, like regardless if he's signed to a 360 or not, he's sponsored by Sprite. Like I'm pretty sure that's people like QC putting in work as well.
For sure.
But I believe he definitely had a team because I heard his story of how he came up. He said that he dropped out of college and he told his mom like, give me a year. And he said, if I don't make it in a year, I'm going to go back to college. So obviously he wasn't signing that year. So like you said, he had a team around him who was putting in work. Mm-hmm. So like I said, like, yeah, like a lot of us are sold on this type of like, we'll get it like that. Like we're just going to get on Drake's story off of a SoundCloud song that we put on. Like Drake going to find it. He going to put it on his story. And then people's going to find it so we going to start popping. I feel like a lot of us don't understand the work ethic it comes into. And that's why I'm kicking it with people like him and people like y'all just trying to get knowledge and get game because like you guys were saying, like, talent only gets you so far. Like, one thing I'm learning is, like, my brother D, who I've been rolling with, he does music as well, and just doing shows and stuff is, like, similar to what CW was just talking about. Like, it's like 90% business, 10% performance. Like, you get on stage, but to get on that stage requires so much to get there. Like, you gotta know people, and just because you can rap, it don't satisfy. So you just gotta.
This young man. Look at this young man.
Rob with the hammer.
Yeah, Rob with the hammer. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I keep smart shooters around. You come to the crib anytime, nigga. Yeah. No, I like that though. See, and it's because it's a little different though. That like this day and age, because I still remember the starting point, and the game was oversaturated then. It was a lot of niggas trying to do what we do. It was because you still had to be good.
It had to be you. Ja Rule wasn't 50 wasn't Jay.
Right. Get the mic though, because we can't hear you. Yeah.
I mean, You know, I was saying Ja wasn't Jay wasn't 50 wasn't Nelly wasn't Eminem, like,
Right,
and
right.
these all were guys that were still having #1 albums. A few of them went diamond, 10 times platinum, but they had different styles and whatever, and that's why some of them are still, you know, even though they might have a smaller fan base, they're still able to do a 20-30 city run and do well,
right?
Because they have their own niche,
right?
You don't see a lot of that anymore.
That's true.
There's few Chance the Rappers, regardless of what you think about him musically, he has his own sound and style.
That dude's amazing.
And I'll be honest. Chance the Rapper is the formula I would prescribe to anybody. He's the formula, and just because he had a team around him, people that believed in him, but he guerrillaed all the way up, and then figured out how to leverage what he had built. Now, that's the long game. People don't want to play the long game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've been playing the long game since
for a very long
time. Right?
We ain't going to reap the benefits till we gray in the House of Blues.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, cool. We rolling. I'm cool with that. So, you know, it's a different game, and the social media thing plays a part.
Big part.
Always being yourself is something that I hear a lot, but don't see a lot.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Drizzy.
Everybody wants to be. Now, it's a mindset behind that too. The mindset is, okay, they made it doing this, so I can replicate it, right? But I don't think that that's ever true, because you never really know what they did behind the scenes to make that action happen for them.
Right.
Right. Like, just like, okay, with the level of success we all have in this room now, you never know. Like, okay, let's be honest. People really paying attention. You know, I can't speak for Dub because Dub been in Chicago, but people really paying attention to what me and Rich are doing now. Okay, prime example. Westside Who Run It is a record we have for how long before it blew up? What? 2 years.
2 years.
That was a 2-year record.
For a minute.
And then it snapped one day, and then it snapped 1 week, and then it snapped for a summer, and then, okay, now Rich is rich. You know what I'm saying? In the city. You know what I mean? So the long game is what you want to play with this. Now, if you're not built for the long game, I say this ain't the game for you. Yeah. That's what I say. Rob, don't shoot me. You got these Rob.
Too many impatient motherfuckers, man.
Rob was like, oh, it ain't the game for me. No, but
and see, like, I'm not even trying to play you though, Rob. But we done came across so many artists and so many people who say the same thing. Like, I got it. I'm with you. I'll play the long game. I'm this. I'm that. I could do this, but don't have the patience for it. And that's why we end up always being just me and FC, bro.
It's always
like we started when I first met FC. We had a whole camp.
Yeah,
it was a lot of us, bro.
Yeah,
bruh.
Yeah,
it was a
lot of us.
We all was thick.
Yo, it
was a lot of us.
15
and everybody who just couldn't play the long game end up falling off to the side every time.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, the long game is definitely something you want to do, unless you just lucky and you go viral on some fucking social media. But that takes a while to fucking go viral sometimes. Man. You feel me?
You know what I realized this past week, and this is back on social media. So Instagram was hating on the nigga, right? Instagram don't.
They really do hate on.
Hey, Rich, no, I ain't lying. Like, Instagram was hating on the nigga, right? And they still hating on me right now. I don't know what I did to them. Call me.
It's because you black, ain't it?
That's what it is. My hair too long. I'm talking belligerent. Like, it's that. But so I started a new Instagram account. This was Thursday, right? Now, my previous account had 6,000 plus followers on it, right? Okay, cool. Everybody else, but you know, it's a number. It don't mean that much to me. Whatever, right? So I started the new account. I'm at like 200, right? 290 something that made the jump with me. I'm cool with that. All right, 200.
The real one.
The real
one.
I'm cool with that, right? But you know what I felt when I started that new account? I felt so free, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yo, I could just, like, I ain't got to fake nothing over here now again. I could just be who I am over here, because the cast that came with me is the ones that's with me.
Yeah.
I feel like this. The Instagram social media boom is a great thing if you're using it the way that it should be used, right? If you're using it to communicate with the fans, you're using it to preview music or tell people what's going on. But if you're doing music for social media, it's a wrap.
It's too much work. The algorithms keep changing. People don't pay attention. You can have 12,000 followers, only get 200 likes. That's all.
Rich no.
That's all they see.
I had 6,000 plus followers. It was getting like, if I didn't hashtag everything, it was like 5 likes on everything. I'm like, wait, y'all chose to follow me.
And you'd be like, am I doing something? No, it's the social media. It's the platform. Just how they
And then there's people that buy followers too.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot
I seen this artist, bro.
It's a lot
I swear.
Shut up.
He 100,000 followers.
I know who you talking about.
100,000 followers, right? But them numbers did not add up, bro.
Not at the show.
How you got 100,000 followers, people not showing up to where you at?
You got 5 people.
You got 100,000 followers, but you only got like 50 likes, dog. Like,
I know producers that
Stop
do that.
it.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Offering to sell them to me. I'd be like, no.
Like, no,
No, I heard of some services where like you hit them up, you pay for it, and they stream your shit. They figure out a way to stream your and get your numbers up.
Yep.
And yeah, that shit.
You know what? I've paid to get on a playlist for the first time.
Okay.
With this project,
I want to know how that worked.
So I paid for a month of streaming on 3 different playlists, and because of the nature of what I do, like I rap inside the church and outside the church.
Right.
Like that's just the lane that God has made me for. But I knew with this new project, I needed to begin to carve out new listeners. I'm really trying to get in people's ear, because my problem, I don't think is the talent issue or not being good enough. It's just people haven't heard.
Yeah.
Or they're not giving it a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, this is an investment worth me at least putting it in front of them to see what happens.
Right.
Now, I know there's no guarantee that people will save it or continue to stream it, but to at least be seen, I've paid for interviews, all kind of stuff. And that's a reality, unfortunately, of what the game is now. That you pay, and when you're in hip hop, you pay for everything.
That's true.
Yeah, that's different from buying followers, though, man.
Yeah,
That's way different from buying followers.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about that too, because we got to look into that, like being on playlists and shit, because
that's the way.
It's the way to go now.
Yeah, man, we definitely got to do that.
Yeah. So it's the game is changing. I'm gonna probably say it 20 times, but the game is changing, man. And
big time.
I think it's for artists in 2019. Let's do it like this. I'll give my synopsis on what artists should really be looking into for 2019, and then you guys can do that from the artist seat. Okay. So from the way I'm looking at the game right now, right, we're in the month of November. This is what I see happening, and this is how I feel like artists, no matter the genre, can jump in front of the changes that are starting to be made. Okay. I want to start with my expertise, which is the creation of records and how to focus the energy into doing that. Now, I see a lot, because I get a lot of emails, text messages, DMs, all of that kind of correspondence for people wanting to purchase beats exclusively. Now, I want to talk about this because it goes into the bigger. He's one. He is one.
I need them all exclusive.
He needs all exclusive. I want to talk about this here, though, because another producer that I follow made a post on Instagram about this, and it made a lot of sense. And I've been thinking this way for maybe 2 years now, but just haven't said anything because, all bags matter. But now I feel that because this guy is way more, I ain't gonna front, I'm phony. This guy is way more famous than me and way more, far more financially set than I am. For him to go out on a limb and make this statement makes me more comfortable making it myself. And I'm whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will tell you artists this from the creation standpoint of putting projects, records, singles together. Okay. Buying exclusives, CW, I love you. I love the money you spend with me as my friend. But I'm still going to say this. Buying exclusives is not a worthwhile venture all the time.
I agree. Yeah. I totally agree.
All the time, it's not a worthwhile venture. The reason I'm saying this is because I know what I charge for beats. I don't have a problem with saying it on this podcast. If you're not my friend and you come to me with a record or looking to purchase a record, if it's from the site or if it's custom, you're not leaving me without spending at least $500. Mm-hmm. at least,
Yep.
right? And that's not custom. So if you want me to make you a record, we're talking $750 to $1,000,
Which is actually cheap in industry.
That's very cheap.
Yeah.
Super cheap.
That's low ball.
Especially for the quality, because you actually
I
play
it.
keys and drums and stuff. Yeah.
So that's what you're spending. Now, let's consider this on a small scale, then I'll move on. So say let's go low ball. Say you find a record on FcOnTheBeat.net, because when you go to FcOnTheBeat.net, you find a record on FcOnTheBeat.net. I just want to say it again so y'all can know where to get the records from. It's FcOnTheBeat.net. Once you go there,
Get your hand out of my pocket.
get your hands out of my pocket, but put some money in it. If you go there to buy, you find a record on there, you say, yo, I want this exclusively. Okay, let me see what you're talking about. All right, this is $500. Boom. So you spend the $500, and we don't go back and forth and haggle because you're a great client and you just ready to go. Cool. $500 you spent with me, right? Now, you still have to, in order to, and this is not even to be successful, you still have to record that record. You still have to mix and master that record. You still have to do marketing around that record, no matter how you choose to do it, whether it's, you still have to do like the artwork for it, which nowadays you can almost do yourself. Because they rule that out. You still have to shoot a video to even be considered as a listen now, which I learned on Stockton Malone, and I would never do that again.
Oh, same here.
I would never do that again. I thought we were sweet, but we wasn't sweet. So you still have to shoot a video for it. You know what I mean? You still have to. If you're really trying to get noticed, you have to go to the service and say, yo, I need to get on these playlists or those kind of things. So you're spending $500 and you're already broke. Mm-hmm. Now, it's okay to be broke, but you got to know you broke. So you spent $500 on a record to market it and to do the videos and to record after that. So at the end, you spend about $1,500. Easy $1,500.
A single. That's a single.
For a single.
That's a single.
We are not living in the iTunes world.
No guarantee of play.
You put that out, it'll sit.
Yep.
And your 15 is gone.
Oh, don't forget your copyright.
Put that in there. So you put that out and it's you can even be sexy about it and do the pre-order on iTunes first. Get you about $10. Before it dropped.
Barely give them the pre-sale.
Good luck. But the reason why we stopped doing that is because it was a waste of my time. It was a waste of time for us. It's like, all right, well, you get it when you get it.
It's all surprise albums now.
You just look great. Add it now. No, don't. Just whatever. So you spent $1,500 with no guarantee of ROI or return on investment. None.
Right.
None. The more lucrative option, and this is why the lease game is so popular but not popular. It's popular amongst artists but not popular amongst musicians. That you can get that same record from Fred Council, FcOnTheBeat, for $25 and then spend the rest of that $5 doing the other stuff.
Right.
So it's not about the flash. It's not about the look. It's about where you are in your career. Now, the artists who got it, that buy from me, they already come. Them good clients are like 4 or 5 of them a year because it's not many people that have the budget behind them to say, I'm copping 5 records from you off top. We rolling. You know what I mean? Put your money in the right place. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Put your money in the right place in the creation of the record. Secondly, leaning on social media is a great thing to do, but that should not be your only strategy. Now, these are all things that I learned and telling y'all from experience. That should not be your only strategy, all right? If you're an artist, people want to see you. You need to be very present in the community. The reason that me and Rich are winning so well is not because of me, because I will sit in this house and make beats all day. It's because Rich is in the streets. So they know, the people that don't know me from making beats all day know me because I produce for Rich. So that's something I even have to subscribe to more. I got to get out here. But if you're not doing that now, it's a wrap for you. All right. Streaming has now taken away a lot of the crutches that artists have once had. So where you can say, I'm going to print the CD, I'm going to sell it out the trunk, or I'm going to go to iTunes and you got to buy it from there. Now I pay Spotify 10, I pay Apple Music 15, and I can hear, between them two services, I hear everything that's out on the planet. Why am I giving you a dime? And that's me as a producer.
Right.
And if they don't like it, they won't stream it again.
It's gone.
You won't make money.
It's over.
You got to really be good.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So focus your energy on creating the best art you can for the lowest investment that you can. Now, don't go cheap. Stop ripping YouTube video beats because we know when you did that. We know when y'all doing that, and we won't listen to it past 15 seconds. Stop doing that. Spend a little money, but not too much. Make sure that you're present and people can actually touch you, and you're making art that connects with people, right? And also create a business around the music that you can layer on top of, right? Rich just dropped merch. I'm always dropping merch. Dub has merch. Why do you think we sell merchandise and we're so good at music? Because people don't buy music.
Exactly.
Man.
We gotta sell all this stuff.
Well, and it's crazy even the merch game now because like I'm in a place where I'm about to finish my business plan and get investors because I found myself nickel and diamond where I buy one t-shirt, hope to sell them 25 or 30, but it takes so long if you ain't on tour or whatever, and then you already got 5 or 6 designs in your head, but you can't print them up until you sell these, hoping that you make a profit.
It's nuts.
It's done. That's done. You know what I mean?
It's nuts.
Yeah, bro.
It's
merch
nuts.
game is tough.
Bro.
It's
You're
nuts.
independent. You gotta
It's
diversify.
nuts.
Yeah.
Bro, it's nuts. And I use drop shipping, which is I'm not gonna give you that game.
Oh, I need that. I need that.
I use drop shipping. So I
was gonna talk to you about that.
Yeah, we gotta get you over there in the drop shipping. We gotta get y'all on drop shipping.
shipping?
Yeah, we gotta get y'all on drop shipping.
Okay.
But yeah, it's always layering something on top of just the art because that's just not enough until you get to a certain level to sustain you, right? Yeah. And the last point I'm gonna make is a point that Rich made that is undervalued, and that is always be who you are before all of this other stuff happens. Because after a while, we gonna smell some fakes. Me and Rich have seen the culmination of the fakes in the city, and that's why Rich is still around. Because Rich is himself. Rich's beard is big. Rich is going to drink. Rich is going to cuss you out. Rich is rich. He's angry on every record. That's my nigga, and that's what we doing. You mad on the emotional song? Well, be mad then. Yell at him. That's him. Let him rock. You know what I'm saying? So be yourself at all times, man, and adhere to the game is changing. You're not going to get famous tomorrow morning after you upload this song tonight. No. It's not happening.
Don't worry.
So you got to think about long term. I'll open up the floor to y'all. You know, I probably missed a whole bunch of stuff, but those are the things I'm passionate on. What are y'all looking at for 2019
man,
and y'all experience?
2019, man, because I learned that you could be dope as fuck, you could have great music, you could look the part, you could have a branding down, but my thing is getting out of the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 2019, my thing is getting out of the city. I had an opportunity last year to go to Chicago. I did a show out there. It was weak to me. I did it at this club.
Yo, I didn't hear about that joint till the night of. I was like, he here?
Yeah.
I want to support him.
Yeah, I went and shout out my dude Eli, the promoter. He put that on for me. I didn't get no following or nothing. Well, I did. The DJ did follow me and a couple other guys that was there that night. But like as far as like they had me in a booth like rapping. I was like in the DJ booth and nobody seen me, couldn't tell I was performing or nothing except for the people that was right up front. But that opened up the opportunity because the DJ is a producer.
Okay.
And he's been making moves out there. And he followed me on social media. He likes what I do. He heard my music the night of and he said he wanted to fuck with me and this and that. That's my thing is like I have connects in other cities and shit, and that's what I want to do. I want to get out of the city because like I feel like you get to a certain point and you're stuck at that point. I feel like I'm stuck right now with my music and my following and stuff. So like my plans are to like link with this producer, even me and FC, maybe even do a Stockton Malone song with him on one of his beats, go out there, record it, and just chop it up with him and his people. And see what we could do from there. My thing is for 2019 is just to get out, man, and just venture off and get out into these different cities because I don't know, it's such a dark cloud here, so depressing. And nobody, like nobody wants to see anybody win, and like or like when people so called fuck with you, they in your face until like you stop talking to them or a certain situation happens, and they just like. Oh, on to the next wave or on to the next person I could hop on with.
So how do we? Yeah, I was got a question for that.
Rob with the hammer. You got to give him the mic immediately. Get the mic.
No, because I dig what you're saying. As far as like the culture in Cleveland is is I feel like in music, like you play basketball, right? And say you talented. You get on a team if you talented, right? And then you got coaches that build in work ethic. If you release music, people who never heard the song be like, yeah, bro, I rock with that. That was cool. And then you go off of that thinking, okay, it's cool, but they didn't really hear it. And it might have been trash in reality. So I feel like in Cleveland, that's a big mindset of like, nobody really wants to continue and like nobody sees the talent and is willing to invest. I agree with that. But also, how will we change that? Because I don't want to. Because Cleveland has mad potential. I feel
Super.
Like, and I feel like
a lot of.
And I feel like you know that.
Yeah, I know that for sure.
Yeah. But my thing is like, say we continue like to move out the city, and then say we end up popping or whatever. What can we do? How do we change the culture that's already present? You know what I'm saying?
It's a great question.
I feel like you have to have your name has to be big enough in Cleveland to make an impact on a movement. Because like anybody that done got out and then came back, they had a bunch of motherfuckers fucking with them. Even if it's fake, they still had a name, and people want to hear a name or see a name or be around a certain name to be able to fuck with you. I feel like I'm dope as fuck at what I do, but not everybody fucks with me. And a lot of it's jealousy and envious shit because like they see what you have and they want it, but they can't do what you do, and that's why they replicate it or try to take your shit. But like I feel like with for that question, like you have to have a big name to be able to switch. Like I done been around, man. 2017, I did shows all over the fucking place in Cleveland, even in Ohio,
all over.
And everybody was talking about, oh, we got to stick together. We need to do this. We need to do that. You feel me? And nobody did that shit. I've been around it. I'm around it all the fucking time, and I'm tired of it. Like, and I understand why motherfuckers leave is because like nobody wants to see anybody else eat. Like, if we had a fucking team, if everybody thought the way we thought, and we was on the same team, and everybody was together, we would all eat,
it's
man.
A game changer.
We would all eat.
Yeah.
But like it's just not built that way, and I don't think it's hard to change that mindset when it's been around in Cleveland for so many fucking years. Yeah, just in anything that you do. The next hooper don't want to see you win. You feel me? Like instead of joining the team together and killing the game, like they don't want to see you win. Or an art is like, I don't know, it's just crazy. I don't know. The mindset here is just wild. Like
That's
even deeper, like in our, like even in the communities in the city. I mean, like,
yes, sir.
It's that mentality of like, man, it's me versus you. Like, I'm from the West as well. I'm from Clark over there, like 32nd, and over there, it's like, I'm from over there. I got family who over here. I got brothers who stay on 105, and it's like you look at the community, and it's like you can't walk down the street without somebody asking where you from in your own neighborhood. And it's like, bro, I stay down the street.
It's on that Compton stuff.
What you mean where I'm from? Like
I used to live down the street over here.
Like I feel like that question probably more prevalent on the East though.
Yeah.
Like you walk in, where you
heck
from?
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been living here for 4 years.
Definitely. Yeah. So it's like just that mentality of like, bro, like we live in the same community. I might not know your face, but let me get to know your face. Not saying everybody is somebody you should let close to you.
True.
But there's a lack of community. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like just within our neighborhoods, that obviously ventures into different things like music and
Truly.
everything else.
Truly.
Well, and it's human nature to be jealous, right? But I find myself, because of my faith and what I believe, that I strive to not be jealous, you know. And I have the tendency, just like anybody, to get jealous or be like, yo, why they didn't think about me with that, or whatever the case may be. Like when I went to Chicago, and I shared this with you, I was like, dang, they, you know, so Fred had a label, FC had a label, and I was one of the artists signed to it, but the label folded. Just, you know,
That happens.
up.
I don't talk
real
about,
life. Yeah,
they know about that story on this podcast.
So
we good.
So when it folded, though, I think part of the movement started in a new situation, but I was out of the city.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, dang, am I no longer part of the brotherhood there? You know what I mean? Like, I'm by myself. And I mean, some of it's kind of gave me an edge over the years, but I think that it's natural to be jealous. It's natural to want to shine or whatever the case may be. But I just try my hardest to push back on it and really have a mindset that I want something bigger than just making money, right? Like I want to see people change for generations. I want to see the community change, you know, like that's why I love and can rock. Like when I listen to y'all EP a few times, I can listen to y'all EP when I'm in the gym and be like, yo, I genuinely love their music, even though it's not the same type of music I make, because one, I love y'all and I know y'all genuinely being y'all. Like, so I can respect and be like, yo, this is dope. I rocks with it. And that's a reality, but we don't see that a lot of times in the cities, especially in the Midwest. And it's unfortunate, but that's a reality.
Yeah.
I think it can change.
It can.
But it takes time and culture change.
Like for and this is a great lesson for anybody listening from any community, any city that has the same kind of cloud over it, is that the people who have the highest point of influence have to have that mindset before they get the influence. Yeah. Because like with the scenario that Rosello was talking about, there was a high level of influence there and a potential for a great group of people to come out of that and to really stamp themselves. But and I don't know the person who led it personally, but the symptoms of how that thing played out let me know that it's like, okay, this is not the primary focus here, because if it was, a lot of things would have played out differently, or that just wasn't the goal in the beginning.
You know, I always ask this, and I want to be in a space with creatives and with artists where they're good at what they do. I'm good at what I do, and we just great together.
Yeah.
But I don't think people think that way. Like the best championship teams have found a chemistry where they all know, yo, this the person who loves to score and they good at it. Yeah. We know where they like the ball at. This the person who loves to pass assist. They don't really want to score, but they want to give assists. They want to play D.
Right.
Like they just know they lane, and they're good at it. And we affirm that. We say, yo, you dope. We love that you do that on the team. It's necessary though. We could all be great together. It's 7 billion people in the world. We don't even touch 1% of them with our music.
Right.
So then why are we fighting for 1% when we can go get so many people if we are great together and crossing markets?
And that's why me and FC mesh so well. Like when I'm writing music and shit, of course he produces most of my shit. I write the music, but when I get in the studio, he's still coaching me, you feel me? Like, oh, you need to say this way or switch it up. And I don't get offended because I know he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
If I'm fucking with somebody else or I'm doing my own thing, I'm going to leave it the way it was.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And just like on the creative side, if he needs me to come up with something on the creative side or some artwork or something or an idea, fresh shoot it to me and I'll give it right back to him. Like,
but that's about, I think that's a bigger, even broader conversation too. And I'm glad you're here for this, Rob. It's a broader conversation to have, because the only way that me being who I am, like my personality type, the only way that I feel okay with doing that is knowing that even if my idea doesn't come out the way that I prescribed it to come out, that I have faith in these individuals that it'll work anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have to be 100% right.
Correct.
Even though I'm talented enough to be.
Sure.
I don't have to be.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Like it is, I think it gets dangerous for, and the creative mind works this way. Don't get me wrong. So I understand, for people listening, even us, that, okay, you want to see your idea the way you want to see it, but you got to also understand that it's people that can see it clearer than you ever could. And a lot of times it's kind of like this is what I say about production, right? This is why my beats, I made it online. This is why I don't mind, every now and then, if I want to really create a relationship with somebody, just giving them something for free or giving them advice to producers or that kind of stuff. I know for me that this is the one thing that separates me from most of the people I come in contact with that's outside of my real circle, is the fact that if I did it once, I can do it over and over and over again. So you stole a beat from the site. So what? Guess what I'm going to do tonight anyway? I'm making another one over and over.
60 days of beats, baby.
You're not going to stop the kid. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? So you took this is what I had to tell Rich when the idea stuff was out. I was like, Rich, that's one idea. You get 20 of them a day.
Yeah, that's true.
We good. You know what I mean? So being confident enough and putting in the time and the man hours enough to know that, okay, this is what I do. This is what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different mentality. But if you know that, okay, this is what I do all the time, you don't have a problem with doing it in the company of someone else. You don't have a problem with bringing people that you trust in on your creative process. Because at the end of the day, if you trust them enough, you know they've done the hours. And I know I've done the hours, so we'll be fine. So the reason Stockton Malone makes sense is because our thing is really like Stockton Malone. Yeah. I do not have to score the ball ever.
Yeah.
But let me push it down the court.
Yeah.
And let me find you in the paint. And we're fine.
Set up the play.
Right.
And I set up the play.
That's right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think to answer your question, that's what, and that happens not only in Cleveland. Trust me, I know. That happens
in Chicago.
It happens in pockets all over the country, especially on the level that we are all like on the end of leaving because everybody is kind of almost out of here. But even in that sphere, it's like, okay, you're going to run into it through just my experience. You're going to run into a lot of that because people don't have the formula. They don't have the natural, this is what I'm going to do forever, but they want to shine. Whenever you see that, you gotta recognize that for what it is. Yeah. Listen, man. It's producers in the city that know I will smoke them on a record. Not because I said it, because they're telling everybody else how garbage I am. Yeah. I don't have to. Oh, you got a beef from him? Good. I don't have to say nothing. You know what it is, and I. Huh? What?
Man, there's all type of beef, man.
It's the production hands.
It is the corniest.
It's promoter beef and everything, bro. I swear to God, it's promoter
true.
beef. It's all type of stuff,
bro. When we leave here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna render this and I'm gonna go make beats. I don't bother none of you niggas. Like I don't. But when you get to a point to where people recognize that you have the potential to do what you're doing, and they don't. That kind of person, is always going to be that kind of person. Don't matter what they're doing. Even if they're successful, they're going to be that kind of person.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj. You're going to be that kind of person. So the mindset, I think all that to say, the people who have the most influence have to be responsible with it.
I agree.
And that's what
great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, that changes the landscape.
Yeah.
That changes the landscape. So 2019, what you got? Was you done with 2019? We just spent off on a tangent. You showed the.
Oh no, you good. That's pretty much it. It's just like
the hammer, man.
Branching off, pretty much branching off into different cities. At least where I got the connects at, like some type of connect. Because like I said, like nobody followed me that night, but the producer or the DJ that was there did and was fucking with me. So like that's a win for me
for sure.
Because now I got to connect to Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just my whole thing, man. And dropping more content.
Yeah.
I definitely want to drop a lot more content this year, man.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, my and I'm dropping an album. I'm not sure if it's the beginning of the year, but that's my main focus.
It's gonna be I'm just playing. I don't know what it is. Richie.
We talked about it, but we ain't got a set date yet. So, but
Rich, y'all gotta understand. Rich sat with music in the beginning with me for a year, dog.
Sat like didn't do anything. You mean
right?
Nothing, bro.
Right.
I didn't do nothing. I was in the studio every day, but not writing, just watching how they work.
Yeah, it's necessary, man.
So like when I campaigned for Rich, it's because I think he was there.
Yeah.
When I campaign for Dub, whenever I put stuff on social media about people I know, it's not because I know them. It's because this is really worthy. It's a whole bunch of niggas I know. I don't put their stuff on social media. Oh, you nigga!
It really came out that basement, man.
Like these cats came out. Like I see what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, Dub, what you got? And then we can get up.
Like I said, trying to get the salary where I wanted to be at to sustain me. I'm trying to build my Midwest region up more. So, hit Michigan, trying to really bang out Ohio, come back and bang out Ohio. Cleveland and Chicago have been my two main markets, but just throughout the Midwest, and then hoping to go east. So, like East Coast. Down to Philly, down to Philly, tri-state area. So that's kind of what I'm building. So if you're trying to book your boy in that area, holla at me.
Yeah, booking.
But that, and then I'm working on the Dream Baby Part 2, the Volume 2. Gonna throw some singles out like Rich, trying to create more content, but I don't want to oversaturate it. But at the same time, I know it's a generation right now where you have to create content consistently. So videos, visuals, creating content, getting out throughout the region. I did my goal this year was to do 100 shows. I'm at 65.
Oh, so, you did good.
Yeah, it worked out really good. Yeah, and
you did good.
And
That's dope as hell, dog.
and this was the first time in my career where I can say about 75% of them were paid. Like I had never experienced that, but going full time, I had to do that. So if I don't reach my 100 shows this year, I'm gonna go for between 100 and 110 next year.
So you got less than you got a month and a half.
I have multiple events coming up.
All right,
I might be in the 70s.
I wasn't trying to play you, dog. I wasn't trying to play you. He said, "No, I still got my schedule still rocking."
No. You good?
I ain't done. All right, my schedule rocking.
3 shows a night.
3 shows a night, baby.
At the end of the year, I'm gonna bang out the last 10 the last 2 days.
I'm about to say this nigga's an animal. But hey, listen,
10 and 2.
But so I said that. So the people for our listeners, I asked them to go that way for our listeners because most times you don't really understand what it takes to set a foundation and build something in the beginning. Most of the times, all we see is the results of whatever was built, right? Like I liken it to Cardi B. Like the nation didn't know who Cardi B was before Love and Hip Hop, but a whole bunch of people did.
Right.
So, like we talk about, on the main show, we talk about Cardi B a lot because of that. People didn't understand the work she put in and how she just decided that, okay, I'm going to be a rapper and I'm going to get as good as I can and I'm going to smash them. And that's what she did. That tells me that it's possible to do for almost anybody. But most people don't see what it takes to actually do it. I think we're all on a level to where, okay, we're about to be there, but we still building. So we still got so many bricks to put up, you know what I'm saying, in order to build this daggone empire. And I think it's important for people to understand that it's not always luxurious. It's not. I live in Glenville, Ohio. I've been producing records for 10 years. By most people's estimation, that shouldn't be the case. Now, I live down here because I choose to. But by some people's estimation, that shouldn't be the case. I should be able to do whatever I want. That's not how the game works anymore. You know what I mean? And if my whole thing in my career in terms of helping people now has turned to, I need to be able to give people all the information that I didn't have so they don't make the mistakes that I made in year 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Because that's a critical time. You know what I mean? So that was the purpose of me trying to, or effectively, I think, lay out the landscape for what these 2 artists are building. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if I could be more proud of these 2 guys. That's just me being 100% honest.
You will be once we get that Grammy, though.
I mean, that's true. That's true. At this point in the game, it's like these are 2 guys that stuck with it when the odds say, don't stick with it. Go do something else because it makes more sense. These guys stuck to it and are starting to see the rewards of that discipline and that laser focus and all of the things that are not very sexy about being artists. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I salute you guys. I commend you guys. I think we've been able to. Thank you, Rob, for holding the streets down for
man.
me. You know what I'm saying?
bro.
Making sure. But I do commend you guys, man, for staying the course and really, really finding ways to make this dream, Sammy's plug for the album, make sense. You know what I'm saying? For you and your families and the like. I thank you guys also for coming and joining us. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. So I think we gave the streets what they needed to have.
This is some. Yeah. It's some gems in here for artists, though.
It's some gems in
sure.
here.
I mean, even for listeners to know what the experience like, but for artists,
because it's different. And I think that the going into the music field specifically doesn't get a lot of respect from other entrepreneurs because they think it's so easy to do, right? And this is probably one of the hardest businesses, especially now, to try to break into and land success in. You know what I mean? If you're going to do it with any type of character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for entrepreneurs, I think this is good for our audience all around. And y'all can DM me, email me, tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think it's good for our audience all around to understand the other side of that coin. You know what I mean? Because just because you see the video shoots, you don't know that we was broke when we paid them. It just looked good.
Yeah. I had a couple of people say, like, man, I got to get my social media up like you out here doing it. And I'm like, you don't see shit behind the scenes, bro. Nothing.
I mean, the gas bill. You know,
man, exactly, bro. Exactly.
Bro, I chased them out of here last week. Like, oh, I got 200, huh? I got 200. Here you go. I give you that 200 right now.
Was you scared on that scaffolding when y'all did the video?
I was. Bruh.
I see y'all sitting up there. I was like, nope.
I was frightened. I'm on the ground safe. I'm like, this is not going to end. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. I found that spot probably like a week before that. I went and tested it to make sure I ain't.
Oh, man. I wouldn't have tested it.
That video ain't even come out.
You better than me, man.
Yeah, I did all that and the video didn't even work out.
He lost the footage. He done risked his life.
What?
Risked his life. I'm not gonna say nothing because that's my guy and it happens. So it's all good. But I mean, yeah, people don't see that, man. So I thank you guys for being on here, and just, you know, being as transparent as possible with the people. And I think that's all I got, man. 2019 is the reality check year. I think it should be for everybody. I think if you're in the music industry or trying to be in that field, you need to really look at what it takes to make that happen. And I think that this conversation should give you a little bit of insight as to what that really means. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Thank y'all for joining, man.
Man.
No, bro.
Let's shout out socials. What social media? What we got?
You can find me on every social media at It's Rosello, ITS Rosello. And yeah, that's about it. All my social media, everything. YouTube is even It's Rosello.
Nice.
SoundCloud, It's Rosello. Everywhere.
It's Rosello.
Yeah, everything for me is my name is CW Allen. My first name really is 2 letters, just C and W.
That is still wild.
Yeah, I know.
Yo,
Everybody.
this is my first time actually
knowing that.
Yeah,
his name is really CW.
that's really crazy, bro.
Yo, so everything is at the CW Allen, so TheCWALLEN. That's the website, all the different socials. I'm starting to do SoundCloud too, so that guy as well. But the CW Allen, yeah.
So follow these great. Rob, shout your stuff out. Huh? Give him a mic, because Rob got the hammer. So if you don't, hey, call him. You know what I'm saying? He's an intelligent shooter. You get him.
Name the episode Hammer, but at From Rob Noor, FromRobNor. That's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, everything.
Hey, listen. He was 8 years old when I met him. I rapped at my church. He's 18 now. You 18, right? 18. He got bars, bro. He can rap, and he's in the pocket, cadence, good dude, great character. Like, this somebody for y'all to watch out for.
You live here? You still stay here?
He on the west side.
Yeah, I'm on the west. Yeah.
He graduated from here. All of that. Yeah, going to Tri-C. Are you doing musical engineering?
I'm in the RATCH program.
Okay.
Arts Technology.
He nice, man.
Okay. All right.
Y'all watch out.
All
watch
right.
out.
I got you.
Appreciate it.
I got you for sure. Well, it's me, FC on the Beat. I say the AKAs for the main show, but it is me, FC on the Beat. I thank you guys for tuning in. It's a little on the longer side, but I think it's worth it for you. If you got this far, that means you learned a lot, which means our job is done. So yeah, love you guys. Thanks for listening. Be back soon.